Is this thing on? Welcome everyone, this is Franco, and a whole litany of Funkos came out. That they've been out for, roughly about a month, give or take, for the Infinity War movie that's coming out pretty soon, probably maybe in the next couple days or so. I have to double check. By the way, I got a whole bunch of them. Some are still missing. I'm trying really hard to get the ones that are missing, and I'll tell you which ones I am. If anybody has a line on any of them, give me a message below or write me a message below, and I would really appreciate it. But without further ado, here we go. There's a lot to go through. Alright, here we go. First off is Thanos. He's the whole reason this whole movie is kicking off. Let's crack this bad boy open, and let's see what we got. This figure is definitely a lot bigger, or not that a lot bigger, but bigger than your standard Funko. Not as big as the one that came out for the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's some kind of imperfections up here, but they're probably making a gazillion of these. Although some discoloration and things like that. Oh, you can see that a lot more than on the camera than you can in person, which I guess is a good thing. Maybe it's the lighting. Either way, you have your Infinity Gauntlet. There's a lot of detail in that. Each one is colored pretty nicely. Again, little imperfections here and there, but for the most part, it looks pretty damn cool. Yeah, there's a lot of detail. Look at that. He's wearing a tunic of sorts. Next up is Proxima Midnight, who's one of the Black Order. One of, I guess, what you can consider Thanos' henchmen. Henchwoman? Yeah, so here we have Proxima Midnight. Oh, okay. Well, I actually thought that all of this was one big helmet. Turns out it's hair. And her face goes into horns? I don't know. There's a scar on her face. Not sure if that's intentional. I guess we'll see once the movie comes out. This paint job on her arm and her leg is kind of trippy. You can't really tell from the camera, or you could, maybe. Actually, you probably can see right here. But there's like this weird pearlescent effect. It goes from yellow to like this weird copper type look. It's actually pretty trippy. I've never seen that on a Funko before. But yeah, it actually looks pretty wicked. You got this little fork bent. There we go. Ah, that looks so much better. But yeah, actually it's not bad at all. I don't know if this lump here is intentional or just leftover paint, but yeah, it looks pretty damn cool. Next up is Corvus Glaive, the next one on in the Black Order. I think he's supposed to be the leader of the Black Order, but I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, I didn't follow that bit in the comics. Shame on me. But I guess I'll look it up after the movie. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so we have some weird, he's got the crazy eyes. I've never actually seen that. Usually it's either one color. It's always been one color from what I can tell. Well, regardless of what color it is, they always stick to one color, but this is kind of trippy as hell. He's got some weird goatee thing going on. The paint, again, it's like this weird like pearlescent color. It's like obviously copper, but or like metallic. I guess it's not so much pearlescent, more like metallic. Unlike Proxima Midnight, she has like a full like pearlescent thing going on, but this one still looks really cool as hell. A lot of detail here. The only thing is it looks like they got kind of a little lazy on this side, because it's sort of like they didn't add like accents and stuff like that. It's sort of like they pressed the plastic and then they called it a day. But you know what, whatever. It still looks pretty cool. I haven't seen the movie, so maybe that's exactly what the cape looks like. But he looks wicked. Angry. Next up is Ebony Maw, which has a weird ponytail thing. I don't know if you can tell, but it's two different colors with some dirt apparently. But it's two different colors. He has like this weird grayish or like beige colored hair, and then you have, even though they call him Ebony, he's more of an ivory, but whatever, man. He's the creepiest one from what I've seen in the trailer of the Black Order. He's got like this weird metallic thing down the middle, and there's a lot of different textures, and they didn't skimp out as far as on the paint is concerned. You got several different tones here, but yeah, it looks pretty wicked. Looks cool. Now as far as the one Black Order guy that I'm missing, it's Cull Obsidian is what he's called. He's like this big giant guy, and apparently he's a Walgreens exclusive. They sold him online, and apparently he sold out online. I just missed him, so I've been kind of hunting down a lot of the Walgreens to find him, and I have been unsuccessful. So if anybody knows of one, hit me up, and yeah, let me know if you're willing to part ways with one. But anyway, so here's Ebony Maw. Next up is one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Groot. Here's the thing. This is wave 1, which has a crap ton of guys in it. I can't imagine. Well, there would have to be a wave 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You haven't seen it in the rest of the Guardians, and you haven't seen any of the Black Panther ones or anything like that. So I don't know how many waves of this thing it's going to be, but I imagine it's going to be a lot. Now this is Teenage Groot. Now you have him with a weapon. He's somewhere in between Baby Groot and Adult Groot. Now obviously age-wise, but as far as like the way that they made the figure, it's actually pretty cool. It's really weird because his head is the Baby Groot size as far as the rest of the figures, but the body, you know, he's somewhere in between, I guess, is what they were going for. But it looks pretty cool. There's another version of this of him holding, I guess, is a futuristic cell phone, I guess, or a video game or whatever, but he has something in his hand, as most teenagers do, I guess. Next up is the Vision. He's pretty much identical to all the other Visions, from what I could tell. There's a little bit more metallic paint than the previous Visions, but essentially he's about the same. Yeah, I think they just added more metallic paint, and I think the cape was translucent in the last figure. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, the pose is actually pretty cool. There's no stand here. So I guess he just, well, there you go. He stands up using one foot and a cape. So actually that's pretty trippy, pretty cool. So yeah, there is a lot of detail in that cape. And what you just heard was one of my figures dropping. So I apologize for that. So yeah. Here we got some weird imperfections, but good gravy. That is a lot going on there, but still looks pretty damn cool. Next up is Black Widow. I got her off of Amazon. I don't think she's an Amazon exclusive. I haven't seen her in any other place but Amazon, but you know, I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments below if you've seen her any other place, but I personally have not. Oh, they finally gave her something different than the little Tifa sticks, or I don't know what those were called before. But she has a bow staff. I don't know if it's supposed to be curved like that, but I'm guessing not. Either way, looks pretty cool. It's cool that they gave her a different, you know, slightly different outfit. Looks like the bottom half was from the Winter Soldier, maybe, with a little bit more stuff added to it. I don't know if you can tell, but the holsters have like this weird bronze thing going on, kind of similar to what her shoulder or arm little armor is. There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's like zippers and all kinds of goodness. But yeah, back armor, all kinds of cool stuff. Next up is Spidey, or Iron Spider in this case. They showed this armor at the end of Homecoming. Again, if you haven't seen Homecoming, what are you doing? You have to go watch it because it is freaking amazing. Despite, you know, Sony being Sony, and this does not want to come out, I'm afraid. Paint, nope, paint's still there, good. So we have Iron Spidey. There's a lot of detail in the eyes. You've seen the movies, the eyes move, and there's like this weird texture thing. I don't know if you can tell. It doesn't look like, it looks like the light is whitening it out, but there's like this texture going on in the eyes. There you go, I think you can see it there. But yeah, there's like this, I don't want to call it honeycomb, but sort of like a mesh texture to it. You have your chromed out, semi-chromed out paint or metallic paint. They got sloppy. What is going on? For the most part, still pretty good. It's your kind of your standard pose for Spider-Man. I wish they would have mixed it up just a little bit. There's supposed to be another version of this, one without the mask. I didn't even bother with that one because, you know, this looks pretty awesome. But there's supposed to be another version that, you know, apparently I've already seen it, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't, and you know, the movie hasn't come out yet, so they kind of spoiled the movie a little bit for me, so I'm going to, you know, save you guys that. But there's another version of this that is coming out soon, and I'm excited for that one. Next up is Thor. Already, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you saw Ragnarok, you saw Mjolnir was destroyed, Mew Mew, as it were, but now he's carrying something else. It's an axe, which is also known as Stormbreaker in the comic books. Now, sorry for the noise, but now, the fact that he has Stormbreaker, and in Thor Ragnarok, you saw on the Grandmaster's tower, you saw Beta Ray Bill's head. So unless they're planning on introducing him at some point, but the fact that this right here, Beta Ray Bill may not be too far behind. Whether, you know, obviously not in this movie, maybe not even the second movie, the next movie rather, but Beta Ray Bill may be on the horizon, which I'm all kinds of excited for. So you have your short hair from Ragnarok. He's got a scar. He's not missing an eye, which is weird. I wonder why that is, but again, it could be a spoiler. He's all blacked out this time around. There's no real textures, or I mean, there's textures, but there's no other. He's very simple color-wise. Normally these discs are silver, and he has some kind of red on them, but I guess the movie is going to be really dark, so therefore Thor is going to be really dark. But yeah, I mean, it's still a very cool figure, and then, you know, I wish he would have been awesome if he would have been, you know, Wave 2, because this is a huge spoiler. In my opinion, and I apologize. I apologize a lot for this spoiler, but he would have had to have a hammer anyway. So yeah, moving on. Next up, we have my favorite character, Captain America. I think I have more versions of Captain America in my entire Funko collection than anybody else. Obviously, because he's my favorite character. He's all bearded up and doesn't have his crew cut anymore, or his short hair anymore. He's gone rogue. He's turned into a bum, or a I don't know. he's breaking regulations. That's all I wanted to say. There is another version of this as well. I think it's gonna be part of Wave 2, or it may be some kind of maybe GameStop exclusive or what have you. But it is him with his new shield of sorts. The ones he gets in Wakanda. You see him in the trailer, so it's not like it's a big surprise. I don't know if you can tell here, but his armor is all jacked up. He's missing a star. The Avengers logo here is vaguely, no, it's totally missing. I thought it was vaguely reminiscent, but it's totally gone. The outfit looks really cool. The color is muted a little. It doesn't look that way in the video, but it's kind of dulled out in comparison to the other ones. There's a lot more detail in the hands and the gloves, and the first thing I noticed is the boots have these little divots. I don't remember these divots actually being here in the last figure, but you know what? He doesn't have a shield, so you know, kind of a meh. But in the movie, apparently he gets a replacement. But still, it's a freaking awesome figure, and bearded and all, still a cool figure. And last but not least, we have, actually second to last but not least, we have the granddaddy of the MCU. We have Iron Man, and they gave him a whole new pose. And oh, well, they have him tied into the packaging. I have never actually seen that before. Right, so he's staying in there. What the hell? Another thing is I got lucky because I've seen some people that have, you know, got this, but this little stand here was broken. I got lucky ducky. And yeah, so moving on to the figure, we have him with his wings. He's got this whole other cannon. And you have, this is the bleeding edge armor, by the way. And we have, I mean, the rest of him looks, like the head-wise, looks pretty much similar to all the other ones. Just that the body's a lot different. I am still tripping out over this thing. Why would they do that? And it's pretty tight in there. So once I take this off, it's not coming back in. So you know what? It's staying in there. So yeah, but as you can still see, it's still pretty clear. What in the hell? Yeah. So yeah, there's that. So Iron Man is permanently stuck in there. He's got those little feet, his little boosters on his feet, and I wonder if they have to have another version of this one. I haven't seen one without a helmet, but honestly, I haven't been as attentive for the alternates in this wave, or you know, for this series of figures, mainly because there's gonna be so many figures. You know, going after every single solitaire version is gonna drive me bonkers. So I've decided that I'm only gonna go with the main ones, and if there's a very, very cool alternate, then I'll go for those. But yeah, I'm sticking with this version of Iron Man unless there's like another crazy version. And last but certainly not least, we have this bad boy. So this is the 10-inch Thanos, essentially the same exact thing as this bad boy, except bigger. Details exactly the same. Hand position is different. Other than that, he's exactly the same as the big one, or the small one rather. Very, very cool. I don't think I've ever seen a Funko like that. I mean, I know that they had like a 10-inch Groot and this and the other, but they're, you know, slightly different. This is almost exactly the same. Price-wise, I think it was about twice, maybe 3 times as much as your regular Funko, but you kind of are getting 3 times the Funko, I guess. So yeah, There's several other Thanoses. You have another one in this size with, he's doing something with a gauntlet. I guess there's like this light being emitted from it in plastic form. If you've seen the Doctor Strange figures, it's about the same deal. And there's another one which I was lucky enough to find, again with that Instagram connection. The Marvel first 10 years where Thanos is sitting on a throne. That one was the one that I was really going for, even more so than this one. But you know, this is just, you know, cool as hell. I don't think he's gonna go back in the box, to be honest. He's cool enough just to leave out and about. So yeah, and that is pretty much it for this series of Funkos. I don't know if you can tell, but Groot does not like to stand up. His tiny ass body with his big ass head, they don't mesh well apparently, and he just tips over. So yeah, either way, I'm still extremely happy with this series. Funko keeps getting better and better. But yeah, so thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, and on that note, I'm out of here.